Coming up in the show this week, it's episode 19. We have a very special guest, Tommy McGuire, he's a singer-songwriter, is currently number 7 in the Scottish iTunes chart with his latest single, Smile. This week we talk about lockdown, venues being in trouble, songwriting techniques, Pill and the Teeny, music streaming, Gerry Cinnamon, live stream gigs, lyrics versus music, drunken punters, outdoor gigs. We do a banger of Saint again. With this week it's got Chris Martin and Johnny Mitchell, and we also reveal Gary Barlow's PIN number, so stick around for that. So let's go.
Welcome to episode 19 of the COVID Curer podcast. There should be some bad language in this episode, as the rest of the episodes would suggest. We're on Spotify and Apple, Anchor and YouTube. We're a wedding band from Scotland. We're not doing weddings, so we're doing this podcast instead. My name's Martin, I play guitar in the band. I'm joined by our lead singer, David Swan.
Hello there.
We've got our bass player, Mark Caulfield.
Hi there.
And our drummer, Neil McDougall.
Good evening.
We've also got a very special guest tonight, a Scottish music artist who has shared the bill with Kyle Falconer of The View, Gerry Cinnamon and Bugg, featuring as Glasgow's first Busker in 2018. The single Smile reached number 10 in the iTunes Scottish Singles chart this year. A massive welcome to Tommy McGuire.
Hello. Cheers for having us on.
Alright, mate.
That's the first mistake. I thought, did you not say it went to 7, Tommy, in the Scottish charts?
Aye, you got size 7.
I've got all the
congratulations,
sorry.
Nice very much,
That's
guys.
brilliant.
So how are you getting on, Tommy? How are you dealing with lockdown and stuff? How's that affecting you?
Not bad. I'm saying not bad, but I think it's affecting me as much as it's affecting everybody else. It's a musician and doing that kind of beforehand. But I mean, it's got to the stage now where it's just waiting for it to pass into. Hopefully it gets to that stage as soon as. But
Aye, it's like a bad dose of diarrhea. You're just waiting for it to pass, mate.
Exactly that. Holding on tight. Then you can get a holiday.
Is there any such thing as a good dose of diarrhea? Oh.
Not from my experience, no.
What I mean by a bad dose is, it's always a bad dose, isn't it, I suppose? Have you ever, you can get like some, just a wee bit of the squirts, but you get other ones where, like Tommy says, you're fucking climbing up your walls like Spider-Man. Know what I mean? So there'll be lots of there's definitely ratings of diarrhea episodes, I would say.
Yeah, we actually happen to have a diarrhea expert on the
He
show
not only
tonight.
talks it, ladies and gentlemen, but it flies out him every night of the week, Mr. Mark Caulfield.
Oh man,
I can never spell diarrhea. I'm trying to type down diarrhea. How do you spell diarrhea again?
D-I-A Urea.
There's an H in there.
You should know about these, because you do have, as the listeners will know, you do have some bowel and stomach issues going on where you're quite frequent in the toilet. So do you get bad and good episodes of diarrhea? Answer the question, Spike, so we can move on.
You're the one that dragged it out. No, it's no such thing as a good dose of diarrhea, just less worse.
Oh, less worse.
So
nice one.
welcome, Tommy. This is the kind of level of conversation.
I'll be the tone set.
Absolutely, mate. That's quite an intelligent start, to be honest. Quite highbrow for us.
Oh man,
we were all forward to getting you on, because obviously you're a local musician doing very well on that. So we've got a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind.
No,
the first one, I was just interested to know, how did you get into music, playing music, singing, songwriting? What was the thing that sparked it all for you?
I mean, I've always been a big fan of music and stuff like that. My family are big kind of if they're not musicians, they're big music fans, you know what I mean? And I've always had a kind of broad knowledge of music as well, just with listening to everybody's different tastes and stuff like that. I've got aunties who are born in all different decades, my dad and his brothers and stuff like that, so everybody listens to different music, and I think it was just kind of after I started learning a bit more about it at school, I took a real interest in it and stuff like that, got to perform at shows and whatnot, and then started doing my own gigs, and then started a band when I was about 16 called Isotones.
Nice.
So we were doing gigs around Motherwell and stuff like that in Glasgow back in the day, and that's when me and my pal Stephen Higgins started getting in about writing songs and stuff like that, and just getting the guitars out and getting a jam, and it stemmed from that, to be honest. It just stemmed from growing a love for it, and I ended up after school going on to study music after being in a band and all the rest of it. So studied at the Academy of Music and Sound in Glasgow, and then you the full time you're there, I think everybody knows that, like anytime anyone is trained to be a musician or trying to be a musician, the work's tough, you know what I mean? It's a competitive environment, and it is hard to if you're not on your game, it's hard to keep up. So I ended up doing car sales for a few years, and then got the question of, right, you need to make a choice between this or playing music, and I was a bit like, nah, I'll stick with the music. You know what I mean? So, and then that was me just doing it for there. I just thought, you know what, I've always wanted to do this, always wanted to be a full-time musician, always wanted to have songs like kind of published and stuff like that, and get, you know what I mean, just be a singer-songwriter and try and earn a living for that. And I thought, if I'm whatever age I was when I left that job, I thought this is as good a time as ever to actually have a crack at it.
Absolutely.
So I worked as just a kitchen porter type thing while I was trying to go to open mics and jam nights and just try and get better, you know what I mean, and try and get on the stage a bit more and get a bit more comfortable and just try and get as many gigs under my belt as I could. And then just kept going for there, and then COVID hit us, and obviously that all came to a sudden halt very quickly.
So did you have a lot of stuff lined up pre-COVID? Were you in the midst
Mate, it got to the stage where it's like I ended up, I moved out and I got my own place at the start of the year, obviously just before all the COVID stuff, and it got to the stage where obviously I'm like setting up on my Friday, Saturday nights, doing weddings, christenings, whatever you can get, the weekends and stuff like that, filling it right up. And then it got to the stage where I felt as if I was proper standing on my own 2 feet, own house, you know what I mean, like making my own money, self-employed, doing all my music and all the rest of it, and all of a sudden it's like, just as you get off the marks, the race get caught off, you know what I mean?
That must be gutting, you know, building a momentum.
It was a weird one. It was a weird one. Obviously, it was my momentum that was getting built, and I ended up working with a guy in Glasgow who I'd met at these jam nights I was going to, and he was kind of around the scene, and he stays in the Glasgow West End, so he was going about bars, and we had honestly with like 8 or 9 bars lined up for gigs up to about the now, you know what I mean, and then we'll obviously go for the Christmas side of things, but the year was looking good. The year was looking really, really good and kind of sustainable, and very, very quickly changed. But I think you guys will obviously, we're on the same page here, but when we get to next year, hopefully have the behaved ourselves and we can get back at it as soon as possible.
Aye, well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That's the dream, I suppose, at the moment. You know, talk a vaccine, and we'll see how long that takes.
That's what I'm thinking as well. I just hope there's some form of advancement, you know what I mean, whether it be, I don't know, I'm not the one making the decisions, but hopefully somebody comes up with something pretty soon.
I know, it's been a tough old time, and I think, as you say, we're in the same boat as well, you know, full diary, and you know what it's like.
We'll take a wee minute to reflect on it and just shake our heads for fuck's sake, man.
I know. Really, to be honest, we've been reflecting on this whole, you know, this podcast every week and that, and we've had some different people on with different, you know, from different industries and stuff affected, same as yourself, same as us. So it's just been one of the ones. It's a tough one for everybody. But I mean, it should come back. That's my hope, my thought. You know, it should come back. It's just when. But the good news is it seems like when rather than if, you know. So
I know.
Yeah, it's definitely when. I don't believe the doomsday. They're never coming back. I don't believe that.
Nah, I think you're right. I think that hopefully it's just not as long as maybe we're expecting, you know what I mean?
I've heard some people saying events are never coming back ever, and I don't think that's right anyway. But
It is a bit scary though I've never seen ever in my life seen like signs that say, when we come back, please support us, as if you don't, we're all doomed. Like,
well, the problem is we might not have any fucking venues to play in when they come back because they're all shutting down.
Yeah,
they're not getting any support as well.
It might come back, but there might be quite a long wind.
Took part in a brilliant thing in Sofa-thon sing-along. That was a pretty cool thing at the start of lockdown, where people had put together to kind of save our venues campaign. So that was a good thing to make part of. But like, that's pretty much that and whatever else. But that's all the support they're really getting. You know what I mean? There's only so much you can do. A lot of these places aren't selling food, or you know what I mean. It's not sustainable for them now. You can't even. There's no other way for them to make a living at it or keep it running.
I know.
It's a shame. It is a shame, isn't it? It's strange how it's affected such a wide range of folk.
It's a shame that it is left to, you know, guys like yourself and, you know, and musicians and stuff, which is obviously, that sounds like a great thing, the thing you've done, but it shouldn't really have to come to that, you know. It should be, they should be getting the help, you know, because you're talking about places that, I mean, people need pubs, don't they? They need pubs, they need venues, they need places that do put on shows, and they should just be getting help. But it's a strange set of circumstances the way that they've kind of been left. Because
there was that wee glimmer of hope, like kind of August time, you know what I mean? You'd eat out to help, you're like, right, okay, that must be it, turning the corner. But
well, we can now see it was too early, aye.
Maybe that was too early, you know what I mean? Because it's getting to, but I think the businesses would have thanked them for it at that point in time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
That wee outburst isn't going to do them until the end of the year or whatever.
Nah.
Where was that wee place I came and seen you, Tommy, in Hamilton? What was the name of that place?
Amorish.
Are they still on the go then with their food and stuff? Because they were more a food place, weren't they, than a pub place?
Aye, they were food oriented, but I'm sure, I think they're a chain, to be honest. I'm sure I've drove by another, and it was really nice in it. I like it as well. But you can order it and Just Eat. They're doing orders.
Oh, right, okay. So they're surviving that way. I take it, were you still playing in the kind of places before lockdown, the wee local places as well as you're in Glasgow and Edinburgh and stuff?
Aye, I was just trying to kind of play as much as I can, as long as I had something on a Saturday night and a Friday night, and you know what I mean, any wee kind of Sunday ones and stuff like that's a wee bonus. But I really like, see, once you've been a Friday night and a Saturday night and you've been up to, you get 40,000 people coming up to you asking for She's a Belter by Gerry Cinnamon and Wonderwall and stuff.
I feel you.
Thinking, asking, can you do Bohemian Rhapsody? I'm like, just me with an acoustic guitar. Come on, do you give Newton Faulkner or something like that?
I'd give my right arm for that situation again after no playing for fucking.
I'd try it, mate. I'd be like, is this the real life straight after that? But once you've had like a crazy Friday night and a crazy Saturday night type thing, so every Sunday sitting in a cafe getting your lunch.
It was great, and you sounded great, mate. And am I right in saying as well you had the wee kind of kick, the wee kick drum thing? It was. Did you have that? Or was that Div? Did you use that, mate? Like
I've got a couple of things, David. So I've got basically what my main thing that I use is my RC300 loop pedal. So that's a 3-track. Kind of digital looper.
That's what I've seen you using as well.
I play the guitar into that, and then I'll do the percussion on the guitar. But I've got another couple of things as well. I've got an acoustic stomp pedal,
right?
That, you know, so it's got like a kind of pickup in it.
Yeah.
So you know, so that's good in venues when I've got a sound man type thing. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to kind of, when I'm just using my Busker amp and stuff like that, you don't really get a good sound off it.
I think what I must have heard then was were you looping your percussion through your acoustic kind of thing, like Newton Faulkner would do?
I play the kind of the drums on the guitar type thing.
Cool.
As well.
Got you.
So that's
got you. There you go, Neil. There's a man that can do two jobs at once, drums and guitar. What'd you make of that?
No, I can't play drums. That's one thing. That's one thing. I'm seriously no skilled at drums whatsoever. I've got an electric kit in the house. My legs and my arms just don't go at the same time. It's weird.
Do you know? Actually, now when we talk about that, he is probably the most predominant guy that comes to my mind, Newton Faulkner, when you talk about things like that. And you actually look a wee bit like him, Neil. Now that I think about it, you look a wee bit like Newton Faulkner. Can you do all that, the percussion on the guitar when you're strumming a few chords?
I suppose, I don't know, I've never really tried it. I mean, I can tap my foot along, but I mean, I can play the keys and play the drums at the same time, so I don't know if that counts, but I don't know.
That's amazing as well.
I've never needed to play the guitar and drum at the same time, so
let's try that as soon as we can, mate.
See, have any's ever seen Newton Faulkner live
I have. Aye, I seen him in the Liquid Drums.
in Edinburgh?
Yep.
I've never seen him doing his music, but I went to see the Green Day musical. Is it American Idiot it's called?
All right.
I've heard it,
he was playing the main guy in it, but it was brilliant, man. See, singing all the Green Day songs, it was top class.
Is that right?
Aye.
He's disappeared. There was a bit of a novel thing, I think, when he first came.
He was doing that. He was doing the theatre stuff for quite a while, and then I don't know what he's up to now. I don't keep too close a tabs on him, but that was just the last
I think I get dragged to that gig, to be honest. I was just drunk in Edinburgh one night and somebody had a spare ticket I went to, because it's not really something that I would have listened to at that time, but I quite enjoyed it. It was quite good, because he was doing all that stuff that you were doing. I was quite taken away with it, because years ago I bought one of the just a loop station, TC Helicon loop station. I had it for a week, and honestly I fucked it right out my window after a week. I just could not get. It's like it's an instrument in itself. Learning that, how that works and how that goes in it, it takes a lot of time.
It's good fun. It does take a bit of time. I've got videos like on for years ago type thing, and just the stuff I'd put up on Instagram thinking I was pure like that was dead impressive. You know, one of those ones I'm like, I've nailed that. I've absolutely blown it. I'm watching it now going, that was easy, mate. Come on. You know, one of those ones. But,
you're definitely a high level at it. I seen you, because you were actually layering up like 3 or 4 things at the one time. Do you know what I mean? So you would have a wee bit of chord and rhythm going on, and then a wee bit of lead over the top, and then you were singing and playing some different stuff. I
remember I bought a book of just 4 chord songs, you know, so it's just like a kind of a vamp all the way through. You've just got like the same chords the full time. So that's what my set list kind of consisted of for a long time. But I then, after thinking about it, I was, you know, trying different things, but I try and do like a verse on one pedal and the chorus on the other, and try and switch them and stuff like that. That's when it starts getting a bit tricky. That's when you start making the mistakes, you know what I mean? But
you've got to be spot on with the timing of it, then or it can go really pear-shaped.
I mean, when I was a bit younger, I had a couple of absolute howlers, man. Just the random knocks and stuff like that, and to get half a guitar solo playing, you're like, oh no, man.
Because if you make a mistake, you need to start the whole thing again. Is that right? You need to start. What you can't just take away the last.
If I had to make a mistake, I'd just turn it off and just keep singing the song with the chords. That's what I'd do.
I think it depends, doesn't it?
Well, I'll pretend we never heard that drum beat. What drummer? It's just me standing here. He's talking about.
But I quite like it. It's quite impressive seeing folk using that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I know Mr. Sheeran is big on it, and we all love him.
Well, so the one that started it was the girl
Katie Tunstall.
Katie Tunstall. Black Horse and a Cherry Tree. Top class.
I remember watching that, and I remember thinking that was impressive back then. It still is now. It was on the telly the other night actually, but
I seen it on the telly recently as well. Must have done a session or something.
You know, just turning up with that, and Jules Holland first time appearance, you know, out of nowhere, and coming out of that, and
you know,
everybody knows that performance.
I think I'll probably steal the full point of watching that TV show, right? But see her doing that, she used to say she never was able to get it right. She used to always get it, as we say, like half a wee bit, or the beat been off a wee bit or whatever. And she said that was the first time in months when she went on Jules Holland. She was dead nervous, and that was the first time she'd got it in absolute months. It was just been on a live show.
Oh,
there you go. Wee bit of nerves always helps, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Okay, now.
Dutch courage.
Aye.
She was probably steaming. She is Scottish.
Exactly.
Why did you write your first piece of music?
So I started writing music when I was 16, and that was just obviously kind of 16-year-old indie band patter that I was up to at the time, and all this
Sunshine.
Kind of stuff. That's exactly it, mate. Yep.
Love it.
But by the way, see, when I go and listen to some of the songs into that band, they're top class, man. I love listening back to them. You know, one of the ones we've done an EP, we kind of released it on SoundCloud and that back in the day. But I love going back and listening to the tunes. But started writing when I was that age, and then I've always kind of wrote here and there. As I was saying, I studied music, and a lot of the kind of tasks for your singing classes and stuff like that, and songwriting classes, are going away and writing tunes.
Yeah.
I've wrote with other artists, wrote for other artists and stuff like that as well. But this is, I also released a song 3 years ago called Baby Don't Worry, which is my own song. And then recently I've done released Smile, which is me as well. I wrote all that, but it was pretty cool because it was only me in the studio as well. Obviously, because of COVID, I didn't know what I couldn't get anyone else in to kind of do session playing and stuff like that. So I'm doing all the instruments on that one as well, which was fun.
Oh, really? That's impressive, mate.
And how do you write your songs, Tommy? Have you got a set method where you get the music first, or you get the lyrics, or is it different each time, or how do you actually? What's the process for you?
It is. I would say it's different each time. I think there's different ways of doing it. Obviously, you get an absolute catchy groove or a catchy rhythm, or even just a catchy wee melody, or maybe you like the way you can sing that word. You know what I mean? If you've got a certain word, then you can hit a couple of notes while singing it or something, like to try and incorporate it in. Or I wouldn't say there's a blueprint I follow. If that's it, and maybe when it comes to song structure and stuff like that, to stay within parameters, I'd do that. But when it comes to actually sitting down and putting pen to paper, it's all to do with kind of your own personal reflection as well. When you're in the middle of doing it, I have always found it helps when you know what you're writing about, or you've gave yourself a subject type thing. And another wee method I used to use was spider diagrams. Like, I know that's dead, like, kind of might sound basic, but see, just even put, like, maybe there is a word that sounds that you could put a melody to, or would fit in, and you take that word or take that phrase or take that paragraph or something of that feeling or whatever it is, and stem off from it and try and maybe think of other perspectives and that kind of thing. But it depends if you're like writing in a narrative way or different things. I'm the idea. I pulled it off. that's what doing that. But it's just, and it always helps when it rhymes as well. That's always a good one.
I like lyrics that rhyme as well. I know, obviously.
Have you got a good ring yet? It's pleasing on the ear. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's like sounds complete when you do that. And if you can find something quirky that maybe somebody's not said before that rhymes, that always fits in pretty well as well. You know what I mean? Something that's maybe a wee quote or an inspirational thing, or like a point you're making, and the wording. It's like it's a cool art in itself.
Definitely.
In that sense, I think it's poetry almost. You know what I mean? It's poetry in motion.
You talked about narrative writing there. You never really hear that very often nowadays, do you? The one that always sticks to my mind is "Up the Junction" by Squeeze. The lyrics in that
good
are
lyrics,
fucking brilliant.
Great lyrics in that song.
It tells an entire story throughout the whole song. You don't get that very often, do you?
I'm sure there will be stuff like that.
There will be
these days, but I know that is really, I love the lyrics in that tune. It's a total story in itself. It's a cracker.
Billy Joel's another brilliant songwriter when it comes to storytelling.
Definitely. Absolutely.
Billy Joel's, he's no one I've really heard that much, but I probably should. I just haven't, for some reason, got around to him yet.
You'll have heard Piano Man. Aye. Like, even just the story for that, you know what I mean? 9 o'clock on a Saturday, it's just taking what we would normally do at the weekend and writing a song about it, but how much do we do that? We never think about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, man.
Absolutely. To do it, and all his wording on that's brilliant. Even if you think even his cheesy ones, like, see Uptown Girl, that's just like that you can take 2 seconds to think about it. What's the story about? It's about a guy who's chasing a bird who's out of his league or out of his class or whatever, you know what I mean? That's
it's a bit spankly then.
No, he's dead good. Some of his stuff, he wrote some songs about the Cold War and stuff like that as well. And,
did he?
Aye,
Leningrad. Is he quite political then?
Aye, a lot of his stuff's good.
It's got like a million lyrics in it. What's that song? Couldn't Start the Fire.
Harry Truman, Doris Day, that's everything that happened in the 80s. That was really cool.
That's cool, man. Yeah.
That's my dad's karaoke song. He knows every single word to that.
Couldn't Start the Fire. What a fucking tune that is.
That is, man. But he's brilliant with his songwriting, and my dad's a massive fan of him. So we went to see him in Dublin, and
nice.
His song's incredible, man. Honestly, he's a brilliant musician. But I always see in terms of that, like, I love the thought of, you know how Billy Joel will write a song for, like, I went to see him and he had like a saxophone, multiple guitarists, a big piano in the middle of the stage, a percussion section, this, that, and next thing. That I think maybe that's what inspires me the most about him. You know what I mean? About how he can tell these stories well and incorporate the music into it as well. and put on a kind of spectacle with the show. I think I'm just missing gigs at this point, but see, just like a full gig with all the instruments and all that there as well. That's brilliant as well, and he'll write the music for it all.
Has he got a big setup then? He's got saxophones and the whole shebang then?
Oh, they're brilliant. They're really, really good as well. There was he's played with a couple of kind of independently successful musicians that are well recognised by saxophonists. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even remember the guy's name. I think it was Larry David or something. No, it's not. It's Larry something. And he's a brilliant on the saxophone, and he gets him to play with him and stuff like that. Oh,
nice.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, if there's a guy who's like really, really good on his instrument, he'll get him to play.
All right. Okay.
Show him off a bit. I can't remember the guy's name. It's definitely not what I said. It's something completely different. I'll see if I can Google it.
See that we didn't start the fire song. It's in. I watched the film last week. It was really funny. The 5-year engagement. It's got Jason Segel and Chris Pratt in it. Chris Pratt is his the guy's getting married basically, and Chris Pratt's his best man. And at the engagement party, he gets up and he's got in front of everybody when they're doing their speeches, and he's got like a projector and stuff, and he does a song and he does his version of that, but instead of like the lyrics everyone that happened in the 80s, it's all the guy's ex-birds. He sings it. It's fucking hilarious, man. Really good film, actually. It's really funny, unexpectedly so.
I'm best man at a wedding next year. I might
do steal that.
Go and watch it. I might go and watch it.
I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear Hamanda, Ata, Raka, Deda, Baka, Sada, Ata. Now, Africa right now, from Africa right now, they're coming here. They're coming here in the name of Jesus.
What would you say is your biggest musical influence? Or who? Sorry, who would you say is your biggest musical influence?
That's a hell of a tough one, man. That's a hell of a tough one. I'll say Paolo Nutini. I think without pulling any punches, I think because you know Paolo Nutini's got an Italian name type thing, and I think me being a kind of naive young boy was like, oh, his music's brilliant. Is he Italian, mum? And his mum's like, my mum was like, no, he's from Paisley. And I was like, he's what? And I thought, no way is a guy who stays 10 minutes up, half an hour up the road, is pulled that off. And that obviously, I don't know when his album came out. I'd only been young. I'd have been about 10 or 11 or something like that. So I remember listening to that and being like, no way is he Scottish. Has he actually done that? And that kind of thing. So he was a big, and I love all his songs and play them quite a lot.
Is it just the two albums he's got still? Has he done a third?
No, Sunny Side Up, These Streets, and the Iron Sky one, the kind of Caustic Love or something.
Oh, that's right. I don't really know the third album that well.
That came out in 2000 and must have been 13 or 14. I think was his last one.
That's right. Aye. He's just not doing very much, is he?
He's in box.
Hanging about in the box.
I seen that. I seen he was in box. He was doing a songwriters course at the UWS. He was endorsing it or something at one point as well.
Oh, cool.
Nice. Oh, that's good then. Putting a bit back.
It was a nice incentive with it. Wonder if he wants to do a tune with us. I've just got to say it here now. If he wants to,
because he listens every week. Tommy
exactly. That's what I was thinking.
So does Billy Joel.
Fuck it. So does the piano man. Fuck it. Right, Tommy, so my question is, Smile is doing great, mate, in the charts, as we've said. Number 7 you got to, and there was a big, social media outcry for you there. It was really good. I seen it all happening. It was brilliant. It was great to see an upbeat tune like we spoke about before we came on, coming through these dark times and all that, and the artwork on it is fucking brilliant. I love the picture on the song. It's great, especially displayed through Apple Music. For some reason it just gives it extra clarity. I don't know why, but that's my question. What's your experience dealing with your Apples and your Spotify's? We know the negative stuff that goes on about the payments that they give to artists and stuff. What's your take on that
in terms of what artists receive from streaming?
The whole experience, mate, not just the cost. So how did you find it, getting your music up there, using them, and the cost, and getting your fee for actually getting your work up there?
I mean, I'm self-funded and all the rest of it. I'm no label, no manager, no publication company or anything like that, no contracts or whatever. So
Yep.
I put a couple of quid together into the studio, recorded it. But a really cool thing I thought it was quite a kind of, it was pleasing to see, right? But the public, I'm not use figures, right? But it was X amount to publish the song, actually, to put it on Spotify, iTunes, and all that. It was 30 odd quid, right? It's not that much.
Yeah.
But it's 30 odd quid to put it up. But that is, I would think it was £1 off it. But the other way, let's say I think I had 35 quid and it was £34. 35 quid made from the first song I put it in 2017. I'd always just left it sitting, you know what I mean? I'd just 30 quid in 3 years, you know, which isn't groundbreaking, but I thought, that's perfect, that's just enough to cover the cost to put a new one in it.
Yeah, that's quite cool how that worked out.
I was pleased with that. That was a nice one. But in terms of streaming and stuff like that, I mean, back in the day, well, it's all changed, you know what I mean, in the past couple of years. This is quite a lot of the stuff we studied and stuff like that as well when I was at the Academy of Music and Sound, is your kind of 5-year vision of how it's all going to work, and everything did kind of seem to come true. Everybody's focused on streaming. A lot less people are focused. I think, like, fortunately enough, people were kind enough, especially the now, to go and spend 79 pence on the song, you know what I mean? As well as maybe stream it on Spotify. Even if they had Spotify, they'd still maybe go and buy it on Apple Music, which is massively kind. But it seems to be a dying thing. It's not great for musicians, you know what I mean?
See, what I think as well, I mean, see, nowadays you can throw a free website up in 10 minutes, right? So you can actually get a free website. Obviously, domain name and all that will be absolutely garbage and stuff like that. But you can fling a free website up and directly sell your stuff nowadays. You know, somebody like you that's got a good core following on your social media and stuff like that, is it no better and more cost effective to maybe do something like that and get your stuff direct to the people? Cut out the middleman, cut out that. I know they're big, massive platforms, but if you're advertising directly on your Facebook, do something that's a direct, you know, download and amount to you, that's cutting out the middleman. Do you not think that's maybe what other people are looking at?
See, when you think about it, it's a weird industry to crack, you know what I mean? And there is so many benefits to that, but at the same time, there's so many. I've never went and listened or went and. I've never, you know what I mean? I've never been inclined to. I've set that up. We've been part of a band before it done that, and I think what you're putting out, you know what I mean? If it's of good quality, and people are probably less inclined to go and do that. Unless I wouldn't say, see before I put that single out, mate, like just to put a kind of clear point on it, I didn't realise the amount of people that would actually have shared it. You know what I mean? The people I didn't expect to be like, there's Tommy McGuire, he's the singer and that, but he's no. But when I do bring a song out, they'll share it and they'll send it to their pals. They're buying it, they're streaming it. So that was a brilliant thing. But I didn't. For what it is, for what the difference is, I don't see the point in. I don't see the point in doing it just for my own website. Personally, this is my own personal opinion. I want my music on Spotify. I want it on iTunes. I want people. I use iTunes.
It's the biggest audience.
My pals and that. You know what I mean? It is, mate, and it is, and
you want to get it out there more than collecting.
It's easy for folks. Yeah.
Aye. It's like a seal of approval in a sense as well. You know, if it's on Spotify and
exactly, it is almost because if you're buying it for a website, like, can you even listen to it on iTunes? I don't even know if you get. Or if you're using Spotify, you're not going to go and like come off the playlist that you're on to go and open a file on your Google to go and listen to it. I didn't. It's convenient, and we're in a kind of time and age now that convenience is key, and people need to have things at a click of a button. You know what I mean? It's
your man Gerry done that, but didn't he? I mean, he without the label and stuff. That's what he done. Gerry Cinnamon, didn't he? And that, look where he's fucking ended up now.
Is that what he done? Was just out on his website?
I'm sure that's what he said in one of the interviews. Boy Keane's massively into him. He plays in a wee band that they're all into him. I'm sure. I started like direct downloads, and he wasn't getting picked up. He's wrote a few songs about obviously all the arseholes in the music industry that turned their nose up at him because they just thought he was some kind of guy for the scheme that was just, you know, which he is, I suppose, but that he wasn't worth anything, and now he's out at Hampden 3 or 4 times over.
Know your audience,
Aye, and good on him for that. I mean, I'm not his biggest fan. Belter is a fucking shit show. Do you know what I mean? He needs to fucking sort that kind of stuff out. That song Belter, but good on him.
I think that's like an anti-bias perspective. See, just for being a musician and playing gigs in Scotland.
Aye.
But that tune, I think it is one of those ones that it wears on the musicians that are you need to play it, man. You need to, if you're going to have a rowdy pub on a Friday, Saturday night, you need to play it. But I tell you what, Gerry's rubbing his hands at that, man. Like, think about that. And that's when you know you've wrote a good tune. And from his perspective, anyway, you know what I mean?
And by the way, that's right. And do you know what? I mean, seeing like the pubs like the Tavern, and I think we met you in the Tavern one night. I think that's the first night I met you in the Railway Tavern. Play that in the Tavern and the place explodes. Do you know what I mean? So if you don't do something like that, you're kind of a...
I hate when folks say they met me in the tavern, because that's never, I'm never in a good nick.
No, you were fine that night, mate. Yeah. You just came out and shared your thoughts on the set and stuff and went away up the road. But you were merry, I'll give you that. You were merry. But like you say, you need to give people what they want, didn't they? You've got to play the ones that they want to hear. At the end of the day, that's what they're all paying for and coming for, innit?
I was just going to say, just with the Spotify and the Apple thing, I think it's a shame that it seems that I seen something somewhere, it's something like, the top 10% or the 10% of the artists get like 90% of the income or whatever through Spotify. So like, you could go and play your tune, Tommy, or other people's, but most of that revenue will still find its way to your Foo Fighters or whatever. Do you know what I mean? There's just such an uneven.
It's an uneven playing field, massively, mate. 100%. See, in terms of like, at one point I was above a couple of songs in the iTunes charts, right? And I was like, right, I'll go and check your streams on Spotify, and I looked at it and I was like, what? The songs that were released the same day, and it was millions, you know what I mean? And I'm like, how are they doing that? You know what I mean? Like it's a different level, you know what I mean? And I think because realistically, you're not competing with an artist, you're competing with record labels, you're competing with publishing companies, marketing executives,
millions of pounds.
And if you're doing that yourself for your room, you know what I mean, and you're firing a tenner into a Facebook advert, it's a hard thing to do, you know what I mean? And it's and the upkeep of it as well. Like, see, in terms of the songs that are still in the charts, the now that were just making their way up and stuff like that. When my song had ended up in it, you know what I mean? So I was keeping a track on it, and I'm like, so I was trying to. It all just happened. It never happened to me before. And I'm just sitting there trying to figure it all out. I'm like, so if they've got that many streams, how are they there? And you know what I mean? I'm trying to figure it out. But it's the amount that the people are getting with all the publishing deals and stuff like that. It is very hard to compete with. So I think even if your music's out there for people to, the best thing that could have happened has happened for me, and that is just receiving the support of kind of the local people and people who have known me for my music and that kind of thing, supporters of the music and whatnot. And that's a massive boost, because what the intention for Spotify for me is to try and get into the playlists, right? That's what everybody's that's what your goal there for Spotify is. If once you get into a playlist, it's all like, it doesn't mean if somebody doesn't need to actually go and put your tune on, they just need to put the playlist on, eventually get in it.
But the labels control that, basically. You
know what I mean? So Spotify create playlists and you're jamming if you get into one of them, you know what I mean? Because you've got a lot more plays.
Yeah, I think the labels actually control the playlists, is what I was reading as well.
Is that right?
Aye, so the labels have basically got first dibs and all the playlists and stuff like that.
Aye, I think the way there's strange algorithms and all that, I think the majority of it will be computer generated, but obviously been told to focus on. I think it's if you've had a song in a playlist previously, you're most likely to get into it again.
All right, okay. I
don't know if this is pure top secret. I can't remember how I found this out. But I might have just have a chap at the door once I've put the phone down here. A guy with a pen in his hand, big pair of black glasses. You're coming with us tonight.
I'm used to the chaps, to be honest.
Big bright light in your face. No, but I think it's just once you kind of get into the playlist, the algorithms will see that you've been in it before and know that people follow your music and try and kind of find a way to get you in with another one again. So that's the goal in that side of things. Earning money for streaming isn't if that's what you're kind of if people are releasing music and hoping that they're going to get because for however much it is, it's like, I think if I remember correctly, it's 0.0024 pence you get for each stream, right? So see, even if I'm saying I think I'll take like Sam Smith for instance. So they put out a song that was like it was millions, right? It was complete millions, but the record company's going to have to take half of that money as well. You know what I mean? The publishing, the advertising, all that has to come into it. So,
so even the big guys are getting very little out at some point.
Aye, there's no money in it really for them.
No, and I think without live shows and stuff like that now, the music industry must be has to 100%.
Aye, there's no doubt about that.
So I think one thing that we need to kind of rely on is people who don't get disheartened with it. You know what I mean? Once because we're all certain it will all come back to normal, and people need to be ready. You need to kind of, if the industry is going to open back up, we need to kind of take it with everything we've got. And, you know what I mean? Make sure that it's a viable service to have. You know what I mean? And so we keep getting bookings and generate it and stuff like that.
Aye,
that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
I think it's good. You need a bit of positivity, what you say, and the thing is, you need to be ready because you don't know when it will come back. You know, it could come back. It could be the case that it's just like the way everything's went. It's always been like with the lockdowns and stuff. It's always been like announced. They announce it, then it happens. So maybe some are coming back. They might go like that, right? Starting back next week. You just don't know how it'll pan out. So
I know what you're saying. It's like there's no real clear roadmap, is there? Because I'm in August there, and I'm saying aye to bookings for later in the year. You know what I mean? Just I'm like aye, fine. I'll keep that date aside. But now, obviously, they're all cancelled and whatever. But
yeah,
it's like in August, I'm thinking by the end of the year it'll be fine. Now I'm thinking, well, here's hoping it'll be all right for the start of next year. And you're just there's now a part of me after kind of been let down already, been a bit like, oh no. When's this actually going to start back? Live streaming isn't the same, man. I don't know. Have you guys? I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but have you guys have?
We were talking about this last week, mate, with one of the guests that were on and stuff. And I can watch. I watched a fair bit at the start, and then I just get really sick of it because I just miss the live stuff. And we've not really done any live streaming as a band because obviously the logistics of it is a fucking nightmare. To be fair, you know, we all
as a band, it's going to be. I don't know. Who wants to listen to a full band through their phone as well? You know what I mean?
I know.
This is what I thought. I know.
What's the point?
I had this great idea. I had a total light bulb on it to start a lockdown, right? I had all this equipment for ages, and I'd use it for different stuff and wee bits of recording here and there. Never really use it, put it to good use. So when this all happened, I thought, right, brilliant. We'll crack on with the live streams and just play songs on Facebook and stuff like that. And but I was doing it most nights, and then I was doing it once a week and stuff like that. But it got to the stage where it's like a Friday night, and I'm like, I couldn't be bothered, man. to be completely honest with you, it's not the same. It's not the same. I go and play gigs because I don't want to sit in. Exactly, you're sitting in your living room. That's exactly it, mate. That's exactly it.
It's never going to be a gig, and that's what really depressed me about it. And I was getting on at the start and trying to support, you know, the guys like yourself that are solo guys out there, and they were able to do it quite easily and stuff. And it was good. It got me a wee fix for music past that, you know, the first initial stage of this is us going to be locked in the house. But see, after 2 months here, I was like, I literally, not that I don't want to watch it, I just can't. I need it to be live next, you know.
No, you're right, mate. And it's people shouldn't get disheartened if people aren't tuning in, or
that's it.
You know what I'm talking about? That's, you know, because this is coming from a musician who has done it. You know what I mean? And I've had 2 people watching it, and I've had up to 100 people watching it, and it doesn't matter how many folk are on it. It's not the same. You're not feeling the same as playing a gig. So it's like, but it was totally saturated as well at one point.
It was, mate. There was too much acoustic guitars flying about.
It's a shame. It's a shame because people are just wanting to share what they're doing. You know what I mean?
I know.
It's a sin to see these folk not being able to go out and get gigging.
I know, and I mean, I would probably tune in more to the original stuff because we are in the covers game, and like I don't want to hear Stuck in the Middle or Sweet Caroline, you know, a guy on Facebook, you know, I don't want to sit and go through it and understand why they're on doing that. That's absolutely fine. But
it's even worse when somebody plays it differently for you, and you're like, what's going on there, man? Like, you're halfway, you're kind of sitting there playing air guitar, you know what I mean? And he's done something different. Like, what?
chords and that.
I'm turning this off, man. I'm going to make something deeper. So.
But you had a point as well there, Tommy, and it was the same as me. See, like, I've seen one or two bands do it. They were able to get, when the rules were relaxed, get into a place. And you Boxers starting to do it, and they were sounding great there, mate. I listened to the Rocks on Boxer, mate, and they were sounding great. But it was through my fucking iPhone. Do you know what I mean? I actually went away, it was sounding that good that I went away and got my headphones just to hear it a wee bit better. And it was sounding great, and they had a great mix, and it actually sounded brilliant. But for me, gigging is all about the come back for the crowd and the crowd atmosphere and, you know, the bounce off the people. I think, well, for me it is, and I think that's what I probably get sickened off with a wee bit. But like I say, there's people doing it, and they're good on them for doing it, because it's keeping...
just even with the atmosphere, it's like the same as a football, you know what I mean? They can play the sounds off of FIFA, but the players aren't going to find a second wind at 85 minutes unless there's 100,000 people shouting at them, you know what I mean?
We've spoke about this in the exact same context before, mate, and I think you're right. And see the amount of daft scores that we've seen, you know, 8-0. That would never happen if there was, you know, 80,000 in that stadium. Some team getting beat 8-0 at home. So it kind of it makes the competition completely different. It makes it unfair a wee bit, and I'm just saying that because Celtic are second in the league. But that's it's definitely needing crowds and atmospheres and stuff.
Some was Northern Ireland. They had a few people on. I seen in the highlights of their game, whoever they were playing the other week. I think it was like 1,000 people, but you could hear it. Made a big difference. Aye.
That was just the local flute band, Murph. It was on. Just walking around there.
Oh, well done, Scotland. While we're on it, well done, Scotland.
Aye,
exactly that.
Yeah,
well done.
Yes,
that fucking song can get
I can boogie.
Oh, come on, man. I've had Keane singing that for the day it happened, and honestly, the melody's in my head and it'll never come out now. I seen they were on the news. 2 Spanish lassies for the 70s had done it, and they were asking them on STV News if they would come over and record it with the Scottish national team, and they're being it, oh aye, no problem, we support Scotland now.
They were saying they were wanting to do it.
Aye. Come on over, meet Ollie McBurney hen. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Straight back in the plane.
Aye, I can write. Yes sir, I can boogie right back on my plane.
Typical Scotland, but the very last kick and then penalties, you know, it was just like so typical. Actually, what would have been typical is if they went to penalties and get beat.
I thought that was definitely happening. I was ready for that. I was like resigned myself to this is what happens with Scotland. So
I had mentally prepared myself for a 118th minute goal or something like that. You know what I mean? That was, I had my head in my hands watching it. It was, I think everybody was the same, but see David Marshall, when he didn't realise, he's like, please tell me that's all right. I think we're all doing the same.
I know. And it was good seeing the videos. Everybody, there was folk hanging their phones out their window in Glasgow, up streets, and you could hear everybody in the whole street going mental.
Full street erupts.
Big feel-good factor for a change, you know. We're usually a bit of a divided wee fuckery of country, so it's quite good to see a bit of unity, you know. Better together and all that.
Would you rather have feet or a basketball? Would you rather have teeth or a house to call your own? Let's have a game, or would you rather? Would you rather?
That makes absolutely no sense.
Okay, would you rather?
Did you record that?
I did that.
That wee fucking weirdo did.
Brilliant.
Thanks, mate. See, people like it. Fuck you, Swanee.
It's sympathy, mate. That is sympathy, pure and utter. So, you know, when you get into a classroom and the wee guy that's obviously on the spectrum drew a picture, and you say, that's the best picture in the class, son. That's exactly what we're doing.
Oh, is it when the parents stick the shite drawn up on the fridge? Aye, and I'm Stewie Griffin creating it aside. We've only got one question this week.
One question only?
One question. Would you rather listen to great lyrics or great music? So lyrics versus music. With Tommy, would you rather listen to great lyrics or great music?
I'm going to... I was going to say something completely mad there. I think it has to be a combination of both. I was just going to completely change it up there and give you a non-solid answer.
That's fine.
I would rather listen to great music.
Right. I agree. I think.
Well, I'm going to disagree. I'm a lyrics man.
See, this is I'm going to sit on the fence for this one. I'll let you have a wee argument, right, and then I'll jump in with whoever I think's winning.
Okay. I definitely am a lyrics man. I always have been, always will be. I don't know why, and I don't know what the reasons are for it, but something deep down inside me goes for those Westlife chorus lyrics every time. So yes, I don't know why. I mean, I love a good groove, love a good beat, and all that, but lyrics every time.
I thought you
were
a beat man. I thought you were.
I like a bit of beat.
Okay.
I think I'm like half Scottish, half African. I've got that kind of a vibe about me. So,
Scottican.
Aye, but Scotlican, aye. No lyrics, but I mean, I think, see, like bands like Pink Floyd and that, they're all about the lyrics, aren't they? Well, I suppose they're great music too. But
See, I would more listen to Pink Floyd because of the music. You know what I mean? I've never really tuned. To be honest, I've not really tuned into the lyrics so much as just listening to like Dark Side of the Moon or something like that. And
that's all
I appreciate the music of it. You know what I mean?
It comes with a caveat. That's then, I suppose, great lyrics if they mean something to you. I suppose in any way or any level. I get right into that more than anything.
I think a song with good lyrics hits differently for a song with good music.
Aye.
You know what I mean? It's like it triggers different senses or different emotions in you.
Mm-hmm. Aye, definitely. And it doesn't even need to be anything like too right in your face. You know, if just something resonates somewhere within you with the lyrics. I find lyrics resonate more than music does with me.
I would much rather listen to it if it was to be like shite lyrics with good music, totally fine by me. But shite music with good lyrics, then I'm probably not interested in that.
No interest. See that's what it's a kind of, it's on a scale here, isn't it? It's on a kind of spectrum as to where like this guy could be the best poet in the land, but can't sing a note. Mm-hmm. Or you've got a complete numpty singing nursery rhymes, but what an absolute donkey's put on it, you know what I mean?
I suppose like technically Bob Dylan and fucking Neil Young are not the best singers in the world, but their songs and
but you can listen to them. No, that's the.
But the lyrics, look at the lyrics they've got, man.
Aye, that's what I mean. Aye.
Do you know what I mean? So that's my. You've just proved my point. Thanks.
Well, no, I have. Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking it through, mate. And there's no.
I think their lyrics kind of twine in with that though as well, don't they? It's like the kind of the vibe of being an old guy with hundreds of stories to tell, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Aye.
With their with, you know what I mean? That's what their voice is, kind of. The timbre of their voice.
Mm-hmm. I love getting into the pubs and listening to the old guys. I always sit with the old guys and listen to their part and stuff like that because it's always the best. So maybe that's where I get that for the storytelling, lyric side of things.
You don't like it when you're gigging?
What? Listen to old guys?
Aye, fucking shot me.
Aye, but I'm because I'm
Neil Young.
that.
Give some Neil Young.
Fuck off,
you cunt.
They never asked for Neil Young, but if they asked for Neil Young,
no, sorry, Neil Diamond.
I have never. I don't think I've ever been asked for a Neil Young song in the 10 years I've played.
Sorry, I meant Neil Diamond.
In the band.
I apologise.
That's funny though, isn't it? When you think about that, like a Neil Young, a big artist like that, and I can't remember if I've ever. Oh no, we have. Did we not play one for a first dance? Can't mind.
I was playing a gig in a hotel in Glasgow once, and I went for a break, and a guy kept asking me if I knew any Neil Young. And I said no, and I went for a break and come back in, and he was sitting playing my guitar, and he was playing Neil Young songs with my man pod.
Did he ask not just fucking
no, he never asked if he could play, but he kept asking for. He just kept asking for Neil Young songs. I went down and I looked at him, and he didn't bat an eyelid. He just kept playing it, and I was like, right, you clearly don't realise that I'm not alright with this. You know what I mean?
Aye, that's a bit much.
What a banger!
I know that's like an unwritten rule. That's crossing the line. That is definitely crossing the line.
Loads of people cross that line though.
I know.
Loads of people cross that line. How many people want to get photos taken with instruments and that? What's that all about? I don't think I've ever went to a party and seen a band, and even before I was in music, went, I'm going to go and get a photo taken with the drums or the guitar. What's that all about, man?
It's like you've never seen. It's like, I mean, it might be true. They've never seen a drum kit before in the flesh.
I suppose, aye. There probably is a wee element of truth. Maybe people just don't go to gigs and don't really listen to music, and then all of a sudden they're like, "There's a real."
What do you think it is?
It's usually drunk lasses. It's always drunk lasses on the drum kit. You know that, Neil.
It's just the lap of the drummer. It's nothing to do with the drums.
It's down to the lap of the drummer. That could be a new section. The lap
I think
of the
the
drummer.
worst thing is when the people that come up and start talking to you while you're singing, as if they're not
mate.
going to wait until you're finished. Just like
I kid on, I'm going to bite them.
Or you're singing a song and they're asking for a different one.
I know.
Aye, what are you talking about? We spoke about all that stuff as well. See, as the fuckers that come up, you strip the whole gear down. They're like, "Is that you finished?"
That's what started bangers.
Fucking hell.
That's what started this section.
Aye, that's it. So it did. Aye, definitely. Many a banger out there, that's for sure.
You could probably actually, if somebody came up and asked for Neil Young or whatever, you could never get away with like playing some other lesser known song by somebody else and just saying, "Aye, that's actually Neil Young."
Just sing it in his voice.
If they argue, just say, "No, it's definitely Neil Young." Just keep saying it. I mean, that would probably be quite entertaining.
They'd get fed up eventually, wouldn't they?
That's the thing with these people. They don't get fed up though. See,
they don't.
The people that come up that are wanting for tunes and that, they never get fed up with it. They never get fed up repeating.
I tell you what, they come in all shapes and sizes, don't they? It's like nearly every single one of them's a different breed, man.
No.
You can never tell. It's not as if like, right, they've got that kind of haircut. That means they're after nut. That means they're going to come try and grab the mic off me. You can't tell. It could be Archie out with the boys on his worst night out, or it could be Margaret who's only come in with her sister. You know what I mean? there's no written rule for that. It's just somebody will get a couple of babies down them, take a notion to jump up on the stage and grab the mic off you, and you can't do anything about it. There isn't like, I've got a guitar in my hand, so I can't push them. You know what I mean? Or can I keep them at a distance? And you don't want to be like, this is Sparta, just whack right off the stage.
Sparta!
Johnny, you get right angry, man. You get really angry, especially in that tavern. I've been quite worried a few times that he's going to spark somebody here.
There's only so much a man can fucking take, though.
And see, that's instantly.
No, it's not. I've got a bit of a fuse.
Aye,
Definitely
for a 5-second fuse. If that guy
aye,
does
well,
that
it depends. It depends, aye. And the thing is, as well, with these specific people that Tommy's talking about, when they come up and they're maybe 2 foot from you, directly in front of your face, and you're singing, and they can clearly see you're singing, the band's playing, you're singing, and they say a song, and I usually point to my ear to go, well, I obviously can't hear what you're saying. They come closer, so they don't get away. They come close, so they come closer. So I usually just kind of a mimic a wee quick headbutt or a bite, and they go away, and you think he's fucking nuts, man. But aye, they're just
because you don't want to be seen as ignorant either. You know, you don't want to go no. You don't want to go no. Shut up! I'm trying to do it.
Because it's probably the father of the bride or somebody. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was just about to say. My manner's completely different, obviously, for the tavern to a fucking wedding in Grand Central Hotel in Glasgow, and I'll have a lot more tolerance for people. But don't get me wrong, I'll still tell them to get to fuck if they keep coming, even at their weddings. You know, sometimes they need help. Some people can't be told though. I gee up with some people because mind that lassie, I can't mind where it was, and she kept dancing towards the band. Mind them, or like, you're going to fire that speaker and really hurt yourself. She was really drunk.
Is it that place in Perth? And she kept cracking a monitor as if she was magnetised to it. That was so weird. It was honestly like she was in it, and she just kept bouncing up as if she was in a bungee rope. It was almost as if there was a bungee rope pulling her towards the monitor sitting on the floor. It was fucking nuts. And her pals,
I gave up with her.
You can see her pals are like, you know, you need to rein it in a wee bit.
Very same situations happened to me as well. See, I've had a drink spilt on a speaker, and I've had a woman fall over a speaker and break the cable that was in. So like the jack was in the speaker, you know what I mean, and it was bent, and I was like, oh no, man. So I had to call the gig off early.
Mind that time, Spanko, you got a full pint of Guinness in your pedal board.
That fucking thing. I was in the tavern again. It was a bottle of Budweiser.
You went in the fucking huff.
I was raging.
You went in the huff.
Brand new.
We kept playing. You just refused to play.
The woman was still lying in it. She was just lying there. She's the same age as my mom. And like she was, I picked up my pedal board first. I was like, fucking, wasn't even considering picking her up. And she was looking at me raging, going, "Why is he picking up his gear first before he picks me? And he doesn't pick me up." And she was like looking at me raging because I went for my equipment first. And I'm like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. And then I lifted her up. She was quite heavy in that, but
it took you an hour to clean that. and you just refused to play a note until you cleaned every bit out of it.
And I was raging.
Oh, it's so funny, man.
Aye.
So funny.
I don't think I'd have been happy if that was me and my pedals and that. I could feel your pain a wee bit, to be honest.
I've no gigged in the tavern.
Oh, have you know? That's an experience.
No, I mean, I've always went there type thing, so I'm always helping on at them every time I've got a drink. I think that's probably why I've never played in the tavern, to be honest. Because see, the night you've seen them, that's usually when I'm in there asking for a gig. I'm like, yeah, out there.
See, to be honest though, the tavern can be the best gig in the world. And other times, I mean, see the old setup, it was a lot harder for us to set up. The new setup's kind of took the atmosphere away a wee bit because you're not facing on to everybody, but you're away from them more in the corner, which is better.
Better explain to folk that don't know what a tavern is. That it's the Railway Tavern in Motherwell. It's a pub.
The Suave Tav.
The Suave Tav. Just in case you're looking.
The Suave Tav.
What the hell's a tavern?
Aye, so get yourself in there for a good gig. It's a good Friday night.
Beer garden for when the pubs are open again.
Aye, we're going to be doing a wee thing on that as soon as we can. Peter gave me a wee shout. There was meant to be a birthday party for Gemma, and then obviously the restrictions came in, so they're saying just wait until we can actually get even 2-3 pieces or whatever and get it on the go. So it'll be good to play it there, but I would imagine they've got it all covered now, is that right? I've seen that in the photos, there's like a roof over the whole thing now, is that right?
I think is it? I'm not sure, I thought it was just on the outsides it.
Is the middle bit still
umbrellas in the middle bit, aye.
Right, I get you.
What about outdoor gigs? What do you think of that? I could be a brainstorm, wouldn't it, if it was like a...
I would do it if it was on a thing. But see, sometimes it needs to be set up right. See, sometimes outdoor gigs are fucking terrible, man, because the sound system's not appropriate and the weather's fucked up.
I think, see, as well with that now, even if you had to put a gig on, we could put a gig on in a blink of an eye a year ago, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be, you'd three phone calls and a post on Facebook and it's sorted. You know what I mean? Yeah. But now there's probably a lot more regulations in terms of actually security or police or permission, even, you know what I mean? It's completely killed it deep, man. That's another thought I just had there.
Aye, well that's going to be something that'll be a big dampener, I would imagine, if there's still restrictions on stuff, even after we kind of start to come out it.
You might have to do a risk assessment for every fucking wedding we do. Like
I would imagine
do that. There's the Science Centre required a whole load of paperwork before we even played there.
And not a fucking red one bit yet.
Nah, you know that it's just a fucking box sticking out.
I can't remember doing many outdoor gigs. I think we done one at
mind that one at Falkirk Wheel.
Aye,
aye. Was that outdoor? Falkirk Wheel?
Aye.
Fucking hell.
That was easy money though, boys, wasn't it? It was fucking easy money.
They played for 5 minutes.
Aye, 5 minutes.
For a total of 5 minutes.
There's passion, dude, and they had like one of these single marquees you would have at your back just to cover a table, 4-piece band, and you'd get lads. The fuck? So it was mental.
There is the moments sometimes, as much as we all miss it and that, and it is great and want to get back, but sometimes you get the moments, and that was one of the moments where you're sitting thinking to yourself, what the fuck are we up to here? I mean, standing,
it was good though, man. It was.
That was good. It was good in that way, but that was definitely one of the moments that you're like, fucking hell.
The way it was described, it was like, there'll be thousands of folk there, and it was an outdoor thing in there.
It was one wee guy with ginger hair and candy floss.
It was a gazebo. You know what I mean? It was pushing with rain. I was like, this is fucking hell. 2 tunes and a half.
It was like one wee guy when it was candy floss stood looking at us.
And the water was pouring down the gazebo into the fucking desk, and I was freaking out at that as well. Aye,
a grand's off the desk getting pissed on.
I've done the kilt walk a couple of times. That's always in a wee gazebo outside, and you always end up absolutely bogging, man. It's always peed in.
It's freezing.
Do you need to take like speakers and all that way to that as well, Tommy? Aye.
I have once and I haven't once type thing. There was a sound system there once, but the time that I did, I pretty much looked at my cables at the end of the night and just went, nah. I took about 4 packets of baby wipes to get everything back.
Like
sensible
mud?
condition. Unreal, mate.
See, mud's the worst, isn't it? Because I mean, you're obviously trying to look your best, so you've got decent shoes or whatever on, and you're traipsing through mud and fucking all sorts to get to a marquee in a field at 9 p.m. at night, and it's pitch black. So fucking back to gigging.
Have you had any unusual outdoor gig experiences, Neil?
Quite a few, but it's no matter what you say, unless you've got all your equipment, it's always worse for the drummer. We always end up, doesn't matter, every drummer wants to take all his own stuff, but usually outdoor stuff you're sharing with whoever it is, or maybe they rented one or hired one, but it's miserable. It's just miserable from start to finish. The gig is shite, and then the drums are shite, and the audience is shite. The outdoor is just shite.
Shite. I hate the gigs. See, even the indoor gigs where it's maybe a big venue and they go, we've got 5 bands on and we're going to be sharing fucking amps, and you're like, oh no man, here we go. I'm getting into some fucking old Behringer microphone taped up.
I used to be like the most innocent, happy to share all my stuff, and I used to do it all the time. I knew I would take all my equipment because I knew nobody else. I never believed drummers actually had their own equipment back in the day. And I remember there was one, I can't remember what it's called now, but it was at the when it was the Carling Academy. Was it the Carling before? It was the Carling before, wasn't it? So it was the Carling. It was like a big, massive battle of the bands, and like I don't know how many it was on, but here's me, and they had this huge everything up, and I just came with all my cymbals, my fucking entire kit. I might as well just walked up with it and just gave it to everybody, because by the time I'd finished, we were only in for like, 5 minutes or something, and then I was there the whole gig. I ended up being part of the crew, taking it all down because I had to stay there for the rest. It was just, as much as it was cool seeing behind the scenes, it was just people, drummers hitting things and barbarians fucking destroying things. So from then on, I just decided to go and get the cheapest cymbals I've ever, and for I don't know how long after that, I played just gigs with shiters of everything, just because I knew people were going to use them, so I just didn't bother anymore.
And see, for somebody like you that can pack up your kit in 3.5 milliseconds, that must have been a killer, man. Aye, that must have been a killer.
But good fun, I suppose, at the same time. But still shite.
Aye, shite. Everyone's shite, mate.
Oh, shit.
That synth sustains for about 3 days.
Aye, it's a long. That was long, no. Aye.
Right, let's go guest first. Chris Martin, banger or saint? Tommy, feel free to speak your mind.
I'll go Saint with him.
Cool.
Chris Martin for Coldplay.
Anything to back that up with?
In fact, he called his Wayne Apple, didn't he? It is a bit of a banger.
See, he only took 3 seconds there. Only took 3 seconds for you to change.
He's wrote some good songs. That's
definitely.
I do like Coldplay, alright. But who calls her Wayne Apple?
I know. Has he not got another Wayne called Fridge or something like that as well?
Fridge.
Something stupid, man.
It's not Fridge.
Apple Fridge.
Cider.
Oh, that'd be good.
Here we Fridge, come here.
Orange.
Apple's the younger one, Cider's the older one.
Cider's actually a nicer name. Let's get a bit of a ring. Cider compared to Apple.
Ciderella. Something like that.
Apple, they called the younger one Elderflower. Apple and Elder.
I'm thinking all different combinations now. Second Wayne
I know, so
pie.
Pie. Aye.
Neil, Chris Martin, banger or saint? Has he ever done anything wrong you?
No, I don't think so, to be fair. I mean, he was going out with that actress, what's her face? I can't
Gwyneth
remember.
Paltrow,
Is that not still his wife?
Is it? I thought
no,
Aye,
they're
that's
divorced. They're divorced.
Oh, right.
Aye, they've gone their separate
You're in there,
ways.
mate.
He took the Fridge, she took the Apple.
You're in there.
It's alright, he's done pretty well for himself. And to be fair, there's a pretty big band in that, so I'd say Saint, probably.
Spanko?
Tough one. Probably banger. Because he is a bit of a banger. But that first album with Coldplay is brilliant in that. And seeming look at it from a purely pop writing, he's a very good songwriter. So, but he's a banger. Wears things in his fingers and that. But
he's quite a humanitarian, isn't he?
What does he wear in his fingers?
I like bits of tape and that, like Michael Jackson. And no, he writes on his hands and that, like for gigs. I don't know if he's writing his set list and his fingers or that.
Fucking hell, man. You could do that.
Well,
When you're
mate,
big sausage
I could write a fucking novel on these fuckers, man.
Harry Potter on your budgets.
I've got really fat fingers, Tommy.
Yeah, Hans like Hagrid.
Aye, basically. I've got 10 Frankfurters on the end of my palms. But
Hans like Hagrid, I'm using that.
Hans like Hagrid.
I like that.
I'm going to say Banger because he's a bit of a bellend, but it's only just.
I hear you do this. You can't just go, he's a banger because he's a fucking banger and he wears things in his songs. You've always got to go, but he's got some nice songs and I like him a wee bit. You know, you can't just go, he's a fucking banger. Banger.
Well, that's how. I'm just telling you how I feel. Just telling you how I feel. It's not.
He's got good, can you just say like, he's probably got good intentions, but.
Aye.
When the last up here. When I went to school.
No.
I don't see Chris Martin walking through Easter House at 2 a.m. or anything like that, you know, singing Viva La Vida or whatever it is. Merv, Chris Martin.
This will be quick.
I would go Banger. I do agree though that it has got some good songs. There is a few. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm not like an avid Coldplay fan, but I think he's got some good tunings as well. He's got some mad guitar tunings, which is quite cool. But
So he does,
I think Banger. I remember I was trying to watch like a gig, Coldplay, just in the telly, and just looking for something to watch, and I stuck it on, and it was like, just came up with all these like. The crowd were going nuts. I think they might have done that thing where they were all doing a big cuddle before they went out on the stage and that, and then Chris Martin and then Chris Martin runs out. Oh, it's social distance though. But Chris Martin just runs out and he's fucking taping his fingers and that, and jumps right over the camera like as if he's like some sort of like hero, and then I was like, I can't watch this. So for that reason, Banger. But I do like some of these songs, honestly.
I'm gonna say Banger, because they've turned football games into Coldplay concerts with all this put your phone up and all that with a light on it and all that shit. So Banger for me. But I see when I first seen that at the Coldplay thing, at risky sounding like Spanko here, when I seen that first, you know, when they gave everybody in the crowd like a bracelet, and then it all lit up at the same time in the Coldplay concert. I think it was Japan or something like that, and it looks incredible. Looks absolutely fucking amazing. But
was it Sky Full of Stars, wasn't it, or so?
Aye. I think we've played that a few times. It's quite a good wee tune, that. It's quite a good wee tune. But Banger for me, he's an elitist fucking wankstain. Gary Barlow, Tommy. Gary Barlow.
I'm straight up, mate. Just got to say Banger.
Aye.
Really?
He listens to this, man.
Oh, no. I'll say it directly then. Gary Barlow, you're a banger. No.
Songwriter though, surely.
I know there's some good take that tunes there, man. You need to. There's some good take that songs. I'm trying to think of one. Might be here a while.
Million Love Songs.
Rule the World. Surely. Rule the World. That's a good one.
Aye.
See when they got back together, they ended up coming out with quite a few good ones actually.
They did.
When
the second time they get back.
It's no one you'd actively go and listen to, but if it comes on the radio, you can guarantee yourself you're singing along.
Aye, definitely. One of the ones. What about you, Spanks? Gary Barlow, you're a bit of the bazaar. Do you like
Banger.
You're just trying to act tough in front of Tommy. That's all that is.
Fuck it, I just can't win, can I? I just can't win. I can't fucking win. If he's not stabbing me from the front, he's stabbing me from behind. That doesn't sound right. But Banger, I just not a fan of the music at all. Nah.
No.
What
is it you don't like? What is it specifically you don't like about it?
It's too cheesy for me, for my taste. It's no
cheese balls.
Cheese balls. I don't. There's
I like a bit of cheese.
I like a bit of cheese, and I like all sorts of songs from all sorts of different folk. And I will like some really cheesy stuff, but I can't get into it. I can't get into it. Yeah, it's not for me. I'll say Banger. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He's maybe not though. There's maybe something weird about him. But I would just say Banger.
Neil?
I'm going to go with Banger because he's got like dark circles under his eyes. He's clearly a banger.
That's a bit harsh.
Yeah,
What do you mean, Biz? You mean that metaphorically?
Last time I seen one of those videos, look, watch his eyes. He's got dark sun. He's something at the ring or something. He's definitely something wrong with him.
All right,
Maybe just a bit fucking tired, mate.
Aye.
That's just my.
Oh, do you mean
when
that?
you're still doing dance routines at 50-12? Whatever age you are.
50-12.
50-12.
Is that the year?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I'm going to be completely
I
honest.
like that.
I was just thinking a number to run together. 50-12. That's
50-12 goes well.
any idea what age Gary Barlow is? I think he might be 52.
50-12.
That's got to be the next
what?
song lyric for you, man. You got to put that in your next song.
Yeah.
Just call it
Name of the
50-12.
album, mate. That's it.
Aye, 50-12 is good. I like that.
I could
That's
have a
quite a
rap
good
song,
song, actually,
50-12.
Yeah.
Mayor Gary Barlow.
I like that.
I'd need to go banger. I actually feel as if I feel less drawn towards banger for Gary Barlow than Chris Martin.
Really?
I don't have a strong
me too.
feeling. I don't know his songs. I mean, I know his songs. It's not really. I'm sure they're good. I don't mind them, but I don't really know them. I don't listen to them. You know, I don't seek them out. But I see him in the odd wee thing, you know, in the telly and that. I don't think he seems like that bad a guy. So I'm still going to go banger though. I'm going to go banger.
Dark Circles.
Because of the dark circles, aye.
I'm going to go banger because
Alright.
he is a banger. He is a banger. Did they know? Have they seen one of these get caught cheating his taxis fuckers as well?
Did he?
Oh, he might
I'm
have
sure
been,
it
aye.
was.
Aye, Cayman Island shit. Might have been,
Think so. And also,
That's what it was. I knew there was something.
50-12.
You can tell me looking at him, Kitty. You can exactly 50-12. That's his PIN number. I'm going to Switzerland right now.
That's a bit exclusive, but Gary Barlow's PIN number is 50.
Aye. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. I wish it was that wee fucking wanker butt to take that, but he'd put on, what's his name again? What's his name?
Jason
Robbie
Hawkins.
Williams.
No, the wee fucker, the wee
Well, we
dwarf
can put him in.
fucker.
Let's put him in. Who
What is his name? Mark Owens?
Mark Owens.
Mark Owens. He annoys the fucking life out of me, man. Just
Banging a
his voice.
sense, Ronnie Mark Owens.
Banger for me, mate. Banger for me. All day, every day. I don't know who the third one is. Joni Mitchell, is that
You
mad
don't know
old
who
rocker
Tony
woman?
Mitchell is?
Is that the mad old rocker woman?
No, fucking big yellow taxi, fucking Mayor Tunes.
That's Big Yellow Taxi's that band, is it not?
Aye.
Or was that her originally wrote that?
Yeah, she originally wrote it. There's loads of. She's got so many songs, man. What's her big?
It seems to go, and you don't know what
Aye.
you've got to
Aye. Was that
Aye.
no? That was a mad band that done that.
No, Joni Mitchell was good. She was like a fucking revolutionist. You know what I mean? She was like hated the. That's what that was, kind of thing. She, but a naturist and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? Like a hippie.
Hippie.
I think is what they
Hippie,
called
aye.
it back in the day. Aye, a hippie. Pretty much. I think Chris Martin. That's what I'd say about him and all. He's a bit of a hippie.
So
A modern day.
she's
modern day hippie.
She's Chris Martin's tree hugging mother. Then basically.
No, but
Yeah,
I like Joni Mitchell. I think she's a saint. I think she's up there. My mum's a big fan of her, so I've always been.
never-
Do you see? Actually, I've just remembered something. But David, remember you were saying you came to see me at the wee cafe over in Hamilton?
Aye.
I think you were there, and a woman asked me to sing one of her songs.
Is that right?
I remember doing it right, and I would. She sings it in C, right, and it's pure high, and I would usually sing it in G, but I know how to play it in C.
Aye.
So I can do that, no bother. But I think I said to her, like, it's a wee bit different version because it's a guy singing it, and I started playing it in the original key and started trying to sing it. And I was like, "What am I doing, man? Oh no!" And I'm looking at you, and I'm sweating. And
Well, I never even noticed, mate.
I remember that man just been like, "Oh no, sorry, I'm playing this in the wrong key. I'll just stop."
I can't even say anything about this one because I don't even know. So
You
I'll
go
go
listen to
first.
some
I'll
Joni Mitchell, mate. You'll fucking love her. She's
I
brilliant.
probably
Excellent
know
songwriter,
some of
mate.
her stuff. Aye. I probably know some of it. I just don't know names.
See if you listen to a song "Case of You," I'd say that's my favourite song of hers.
Yeah,
Big Yellow
that's a
Taxi or
tune.
"Case of You." See, just her writing, just the way she phrases her words and the words that she uses. It's like you were saying earlier on about how songwriting can make a song type thing. You know what I mean with lyrics
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You will love her. You will love her songs if you give them a good listen then with the lyrics.
I'm going to say Saint on Tommy's recommendation then. Somebody tell me the name of that band. Tell me the name of that band that's doing my nutting. That
Big
sang
Yellow
Big Yellow
Taxi.
Taxi.
Oh, they did the
It's a
cover.
wee guy with a moustache, aye.
No, it's the Counting Crows covered it.
Counting
That's
Crows.
it, that's
Counting
it,
Crows.
that's it.
Did
Aye.
they put
That's
that?
it. Cool. Spankos, I take it you're a Saint for Joni.
Oh, fuck.
You've got a boney for Joni.
Oh, aye. She's above Mother Teresa, man. She's fucking brilliant. She's a saint of the highest order, aye. Halo-tastic and all that. Yes, Joni Mitchell's a genius. Some of her songs are absolutely incredible. Yeah, so that's the easy one for me, yeah. Saint.
What about you, Merv?
I would need to say Saint, aye. I think I've maybe spoke about it before in this, but I agree with everybody's saying. I think she's a really good musician as well.
Yeah.
Piano, guitar. I think she plays all sorts of other stuff as
See
well.
the lap guitar thing?
Aye, is that a dulcimer or something?
There's a name for it, mate. I can't remember, but that's what she uses in Case of You. That's what she
And it
uses.
sounds so good. She uses that a lot in that album. That is it. Blue, the first or one of that album that song's on. Anyway, she uses that instrument a lot, and it sounds fucking brilliant because it isn't a guitar, but it's some. And I think that a big thing with her songwriting and her style is she plays really unconventional chords and chord sequences and melodies and even lyrics, and very original. I would, if there was a higher than a sainthood, then I would ordain her that title.
Okay. Pretty high praise. Neil, what about you?
Aye, well, that's the reason that I picked her. I think she's the sort of best all-rounder in the fullest capacity singer-songwriter. That's why I kind of picked her, because I knew that it was for her. She's just got it all. She's kind of done it all, does it all, and is very good at it. So, aye.
Doing it for the ladies.
Aye.
Exactly that.
Oh, is that okay? I'll just put your single in. I'll pop it in now.
No, I don't mean to laugh, but ain't it funny how bad things always happen back to back? In times like these, can't control my smile. Maybe that's 'cause there's not been a lot of good here for a while. It's just so plain to see. It's like someone out there's making it up and they've got it out for me. You can't control your fate, so you better start enjoying yourself before it's much too late. You gotta smile through the pain. Find your sunshine when you're out in the rain. Go all out and don't refrain. Tell yourself you will be happy again. All that's left to do is smile.
And then, that was very good, mate. That was very
That was
good.
amazing. Sounded great. Tom, sounded great, mate.
Thank you, that was a live
That's the best version of that. What an amazing live version. Not perfect. I've got a wee thing that I need to say at the end of this podcast. We are now sponsored by Franco's Fish and Chip Shop, New Mains, North Lanarkshire. If you want your fish and chip, no, we're not getting in an apple. If you want your best fish and chips, go to Franco's Fish and Chip Shop.
Okay.
01698 386 965.
First sponsor. There we go. First sponsor. Aye.
There you go. Aye. I got a sausage supper out it.
Tell them I'll write them a jingle if they give me a sausage supper. I'll do them a wee.
Here, I'm sure Big Franco will be into that. He's very Italian, Big Franco, so we've put a wee bit of an Italian slant on that jingle, mate, and I'm sure you'll have a deal there.
That sounds good to me.
Awesome, man. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for coming on, mate. That was brilliant.
Aye, cheers, Tommy. Good to speak to you again, mate. All the best with the single and everything else that's coming out after Smile as well, mate. I'm looking forward to hearing it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much. Well, I'll just do a wee second now as well. I've just to plug. I've been busy over the last kind of week or so since the singles came out, and there'll be a video for it very soon as well. I've been working on.
Superb.
Awesome,
so a wee music video. It's my first music video for my own music. It's been a good bit of fun making, and I've not seen it. It's not even anywhere near.
How are you doing that? Are you going out and filming on location and stuff yourself and doing that kind of stuff? Or
I've
are you
got
just
one
doing it in the
of
house?
my best mates. No, we've been to locations just safely and all the rest of it, distance. And
cool.
one of my mates owns a media company, and he's been helping me with it, and he's putting the video together. So it's looking good. It should be. I'm hoping for this month, if not start of next month for that.
That'll be class, mate. Look forward to it.
It'll be good.
Thanks again for coming on, Tommy.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much for having us, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Buddy. Thank
No
you.
bother, mate.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers, mate. And thanks for listening, folks.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks very much for listening to the Carbon Copy COVID Curer podcast. We'll be back soon with another ill-informed, chat-filled episode. Why not tell us what you think by email, inquiry@carboncopymusic.band, or visit our website, carboncopymusic.band. And if you're feeling really generous and you haven't already, please give us a like on our Facebook, facebook.com/carboncopy4, and even our Instagram, @carboncopyweddingband. Thanks again. No bangers or hams who didn't make up this podcast. Carbon Copy who have the right to know about anything they like, and they will. Thank you.